Let's move it to the next game. We have Buffalo versus Miami. Let me hit you with the projections. Josh Allen, I actually have as the number one projected quarterback this week at 29. I love Singletary, not high on Moss this week. I know Moss got in the end zone last week, but I'm still high on Singletary. John Brown, I don't think he out targeted, but I think he out caught and out yardage Stephon Diggs. So I've always kind of felt this was going to be more of a split and more of an addition to Diggs, not to down talk Diggs, but I was up talking John Brown, as you know, David. Whether or not that persists through the season, we'll see. But I do like Brown. Diggs, I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to hold off, and I'm staying away from everybody else. Miami, Buffalo Bills defense, I honestly do not have a single start on the entire Miami Dolphins team, and we have to monitor. I haven't watched the Miami Dolphins versus New England Patriots yet, but I want to see what Gaskin did against the Patriots defense, because statistically, obviously, he was the guy to jump out. I just want to see what that looked like on film before, I overreact to it, basically. But why don't you take it away, David?
Yeah, let's start off with the W for you, man. You were calling John Brown the wide receiver one for Buffalo over Diggs a couple weeks ago, and I was like, what?
Chemistry matters, man. And what we know about Josh Allen is he'll chuck it downfield, and it's like that old Gronk and Brady connection. It's like what we've been talking about with Minshew and Chark. Chemistry matters, and not to say that Diggs isn't a valuable part of this offense, but that's just not going to go. Chemistry doesn't go away with additions of other people. That's kind of how I felt about it.
And I think it's only one game, but to me, it is very indicative of the fact that Cole Beasley's the odd man out here, and that it is a 1-2 punch with Diggs and Brown, because I think Allen went to Beasley a little bit more just kind of as a check down, but by default, he wants to push the ball down the field. He wants to throw it deep. He's got that big arm. He's a risk taker. It just aligns for him to really take those shots to Diggs and Brown on each of the outside positions. So I think Brown is definitely a massive value. I think he's here to stay this season. And Josh Allen, is that his first 300-yard passing game, I believe, in his entire career?
I'll go with you on that.
Yards,
I'm not sure.
46 attempts, so we'll have to double-check that. But it's looking good for Josh Allen, especially when you consider he still ran the ball 14 times, 57 yards. He led the team in attempts, had a rushing touchdown. I mean, I don't think I was anywhere near high enough on Josh Allen as I should have been this year. I was expecting passing progression, but I think I was expecting a little bit more of those rushing attempts and touchdowns to come down, especially with Zach Moss being out. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. It looks like Josh Allen is full steam ahead.
It's interesting. So Josh Allen, I had projected in my top 10 in terms of, my computer projections. In my top 10, I think I had him ranked a little bit lower just based on where you could get him in the draft. I think I mentioned at the top of the show, but and I haven't watched the game live yet, so I'm going to withhold my opinion. But just statistically and kind of what I was surveying, as we see in Red Zone and stat lines and all that stuff, we saw Lamar Jackson break out in Week 1 last year, and you're just like, holy crap, Lamar Jackson, he's a passer now. When he was hitting like Marquise Brown, and they threw a 50-burger up on Miami last year. Buffalo comes out, immediately starts scoring touchdowns. And Allen pushing the ball downfield. I want to see what it looks like, with my own eyes and everything, instead of just reading that stat line. But I got to say, everybody was on Kyler Murray to be the quarterback to take the jump, right? We look at the second-year quarterback that can run the ball and throw the ball. He's got, and not to say that won't happen, but we've been forgetting about Josh Allen. He came into the NFL raw. And I've said, look, he's a 53% passer. Can he get that accuracy up? Well, he did yesterday. For me, I'm going to try to grab him in my leagues. I'm going to make trades because a lot of teams have him as the backup quarterback. Be aggressive, I think, with Josh Allen. You're not going to be able to trade for Kyler Murray. It's not going to happen. Of all the quarterbacks that could take the leap, Josh Allen is the one you should trade for, and who we'll talk about in a little bit. Gardner Minshew is the one you should pick up on waivers, which I think you've been high on Gardner Minshew, so I'm looking forward to talking about that. But, yeah, man, Buffalo pushing the ball downfield. The completion percentage is there. I think, man, this could be a scary Buffalo Bills team. This could be last year's Ravens if Josh Allen can hit that 60 to 65% like we saw Lamar Jackson go, between his rookie and second year. Can Josh Allen do that same thing between year 2 and year 3? And I agree with you on Beasley, by the way, too. Diggs, I think, negates Beasley's value, so that's going to be a tough go for them.
Let's talk about one more thing, too, on the flip side, just because I feel like we can't brush over this, is Myles Gaskin. What's going on there?
Yeah.
I mean, who saw that one coming? He had 9 attempts, 40 yards. Matt Breida had 5 for 22. Jordan Howard had 8 for 7 and a touchdown. And Gaskin also had 4 receptions for 26 yards. I mean, who saw this coming? Are you buying Gaskin? Do you think this is a split committee? Do you think Gaskin's going to be the lead guy? What's your initial reaction?
You know, and again, I haven't watched it yet, and I was trying to get to this before we recorded so I could have some answer. But my reaction is I don't know. What ends up happening, I think, on the stat sheet, I don't want to overreact to that at this point. You know, if Gaskin could have reeled off like 1 or 2 runs, maybe, you know how good the Patriots front can be. I thought that Howard was going to struggle with yards per carry, so I wasn't super surprised. I would have liked to see more than he got, though. Jeez, that is a concern. It is a good thing that he got the touchdown. That's a good role to have. But you know, was it a case where New England clogged the line of scrimmage and then Gaskin comes in, he's a change of pace guy, and he has like a giant hole or 2 to run through? You know, there are reasons for that. So I need to see that part of it, but it's a concern because I've been high on Jordan Howard all off season. That's an awful yards per carry average. I mean, you should at least be able to get 3 yards per carry even against a good defense. That's a concern for me. It really is. It's good that he got the touchdown, but...
Especially you talk about the receptions. He was the only running back out of the 3 to have a reception. He had 4 for 26. The other running back to catch the ball, Patrick Laird, 2 for 9. So you talk about Breida and Howard, they're not even getting any receiving work.
Yeah, it's wild.
The rushing work's not going to be too hot. I mean, I could see these guys getting dropped in a week or 2 if they don't bounce back.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be reactive. I'm still holding Howard. I didn't have him starting this week because I didn't like the matchup. I'm going to hold on him, but it's a concern, especially Breida. I mean, you would have expected if somebody was going to take this, you would have expected Breida to get in there, but we'll see. I'll tweet at you when I watch that Buffalo game. I'm going to get to it sometime this afternoon, and when I post this video, maybe I'll post some commentary on it. Let me hit you with the line, man. It's Buffalo minus 5.5 versus Miami. Who do you got?
I'm taking Buffalo. They look good right now. I like Fitzpatrick in the revenge game narrative a little bit. I don't think he's going to throw 3 interceptions and no touchdowns like he did week 1. But Buffalo, they seem legit to me, man. I think they're coming together as a team.
You know, it's all about whether or not Josh Allen grows as a passer. We saw signs of it in week 1. If this is a confirmation in week 2, I'm telling you, they're a 12-4, 13-3 team. With respect to the Patriots and what they were able to do with Cam, who we'll talk about in a bit, Buffalo, to me, showed signs of being last year's Baltimore. I've been kind of high on Buffalo for a while just based on that defense. If Allen could take that leap, dude, with Stephon Diggs there and the weapons they have, I like it. I do. I'm going to take Buffalo just because of that. I like Miami to improve, just like you do, but I think Buffalo right now is in another class. So I'm going to take Buffalo and lay those points down, minus 5.5.